Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Quick look again at Cardano, seeing what's going on. Well, we had this little bit of a breakout here from this bullish pennant pattern. Keep in mind, low probability of breakouts for those, but we had a lot of confluent factors here, or confluent factors rather, important things that are kind of relevant to understand. We talked about that yesterday, but the easy way to understand it here is that we could see the price action pull back here now that we've broken out and retested that resistance range. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and liquidation and what that means for us here. So if you're new to the channel, just want to say, hey, welcome aboard. Thanks so much again for joining me here. If you want to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech is the site. To everyone who's been watching me for a long time, short time, whatever time, I deeply appreciate you and thank you so much for that. Quick congrats to our community members here for some sweet profit here. Get a little 20% on a Bitcoin short from 64.8 to 63.5. And prior to that, we hit a Bitcoin long, 60,000 to 64,800. So we basically hit that reverse button without hitting the reverse button last night at 64,800. I think we are due to see Bitcoin pull back a little bit further here before the next leg up. Again, we got to wait for today's candlestick to close. We close over 65K today. I think there's a good chance we're going to see higher price action. And that is relevant, of course, I'm talking about that because that factors into these coins like this, Cardano. Okay, so taking a quick look here at the price action, we can see a lot of liquidation, basically some late longs at roughly that 42-cent mark. So it implies we got some support level there, not because of liquidation, it just implies that most people feel confident that 42 cents won't be broken, so they're taking some high leverage longs right there, okay? Same thing, of course, here as well. We can see roughly, what, quarter billion in liquidation at about 42 cents. So that's a pretty big level. There is more liquidation on the downside than the upside, implying the price could, in fact, pull back to that 42 cent range. I wouldn't be surprised we see a little bit of a sweep right there, and then the price takes off again. Keep in mind, 42 cents is a more recent high, therefore it should be the new low if the price pulls back. Taking a look at the daily time frame, let's quickly recognize this, because again, when we talked about this yesterday, we were in pretty solid shape there, retesting that 100-day SMA, which we are seeing here again today. Potential close above that. It would be awesome if we could close above that, but again, it's not a guarantee. However, we do look at this most recent point of control. We did talk about this being a very important level. 46 cents is a strong, strong resistance for us. Okay, so if you're going to consider securing profits, secure profits at 45.5, right? Or if you're going to consider a short, that might be a good consideration there. I'm not recommending you short Cardano when it gets to that. You don't want to just do that in the blind, but these points of control are there for a reason because a lot of volumes accumulate at that range, and people feel like that's a good selling price if we get there. Once again, we cross that threshold, that would be a new buying spot too. It's kind of weird how that works out, but a lot of it is just that fear and greed combination. We can see stochastic swinging down here for the daily time frame, which makes sense. We've been uptrending here for about 7 or 8 days here. We take a look at T sequential, we're at a 9 today. More likelihood of the price pulling back because of that. Now again, you don't just short into that because of that, but it does imply that we're hitting our overextended state, and unless we consolidate here sideways for a few more days, the price action is more likely to correct itself. Again, a lot of it hinges on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin pulls back to that 61, 62K range, we will see that same thing happen with Cardano here. 4-hour time frame, it's relevant to note we're above all moving averages. As long as we stay above the 20, we're good. Not saying it's bad if we don't, so just that would kind of shift the momentum for us. And we do take a look here, of course, at stochastic and MACD. They are fairly low, and RSI is pulling back. So this is not like the strongest 4-hour time frame that I've seen, but it is important to recognize that with this expansive wave here, there's a solid chance we're going to see our fourth leg down here, or basically our second leg down rather, for our fourth wave, and essentially just hit a little bouncing point off of 0.382 or 0.236. So 40 or 42 cents are the two potential targets there. Good DCA targets. I'm going to go ahead and list that in our trade alerts section. Future reference too for our current community members, we do have a trade alerts channel here where I pretty much talk about my goals for the trades that we're planning to take with our signals. Again, these play out for the most part pretty well. Yesterday we got a short at 64.8 and we hit our first target about 63K. Again, different strategies, different situations for everybody, but those are there for you to get just some additional resources on where my mind is at. Again, check that out, and since I'm getting a lot of requests, I'll probably just add that as a feature on our website for just a really low fee, and you can kind of consider joining if you want. Okay. Again, just future reference only because we're getting a lot of requests for that. Cardano 4-hour time frame, in summary, looks decent, but we're starting to see a shift in momentum. Okay, so it does imply we should see further correction either to this guy here or this guy here. Both potential scenarios exist. Okay. Let's take a look at the hourly time frame and just recognize here quickly that the Ichimoku Cloud is letting us know that you want to consider securing profits. You probably should have done that honestly a while ago, but when the lagging span's within the price action, it's generally not a good sign to take a trade. You want to wait for it to break below the price action for a short, inverse for a long. In this case here, we're above the cloud and we're maintaining above it. It's working as a pretty solid support. But once we break below, if we do, it might be a consideration to either a short, very close and very tight, right? You don't want to do like a short to 40 or like 20 cents, right? You want to make sure it's realistic. But if you keep a tight short, that might work out well. We're not there yet. That's the easy way to understand it. So don't walk away from this hearing me say, I think you should take a short. I'm implying that if the price does break below some of those resistances, or supports rather, and they start acting like a resistance, then we want to consider that. So in other words, the price action does one of these, that might be a good consideration for a short before the price pulls back. But again, based on liquidation, there is an implication that we're going to see this 42-cent range retested. And it's not a guarantee, but that in combination with Bitcoin likely to pull back just a little bit further, it would make sense for us to see a correction of that sort. So maybe consider for a spot bag an entry at 42 and or 40 cents even. Or no, sorry, those are even levels for Fibonacci. I would recommend just above that. So 42.1 or 40.1 would be ideal considerations for entry targets. Again, I'll post this in our trade setup here, our trade alerts. And then of course, obviously I'll go ahead and provide you with an updated posting here, of course, with our playout chart for Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. Keep in mind, we also have a TikTok now as well for some YouTube and TikTok shorts. And obviously, if you aren't already part of it, check out BitUnix, folks. These guys have been phenomenal to us. No KYC or VPN required. An awesome exchange that we've used for almost a year now. And they have excellent rewards. So use my link to register. You'll be happy to use them later down the road. Trust me. Thanks again, folks. I really appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.